I have never been so disappointed in my entire life, Samantha. You call yourself a mother?
Nancy, what's going on? It's not like you to get so angry at me. Could you please calm down and tell me what I did to upset you?
You know exactly what you did. I didn't think I'd have to explain this to you, but once a child is born, you are no longer living for yourself. You are living as a mother. From that point on, every single moment of your life is and must be centered around caring for your child. That's what mothers do.
I understand all of that, Nancy, and I agree entirely. So I'm really not sure what your issue with me is.
Don't lie to me. You have made it crystal clear with your behavior that you don't care in the slightest about becoming a proper mother.
Nancy, would you please stop berating me for long enough to tell me what I did? You're clearly very angry at me for something, but I have no idea what that something is. I know I'm not perfect, but I feel as though I've been a perfectly decent mother so far.
Decent? If this is your idea of decent, I'd be terrified to find out what qualifies as indecent in your eyes. You have no right to call yourself a mother. My son marrying an awful, neglectful, uncaring harlot like yourself was the worst thing that ever happened to me.
Did you just call me a harlot? This has gone on for far too long, Nancy. You need to explain what this is all about right now.
What on earth is your problem? Oh, you think I've given you enough of a tongue lashing, do you? I haven't even begun to tell you everything you ought to be told. You make me sick to my stomach.
Okay, Martin, duty calls. You need to do something about your mother. She has gone absolutely insane. She just texted me out of the blue right now and has been saying some terrible things to me. She's telling me I'm an awful mother and that she regrets you marrying me. She even called me a harlot.
What? She did? I don't understand. She's never spoken like that to you before.
Yeah, I'm almost too shocked and confused to even be angry at her right now. What's her problem? Seriously, I have no idea why she would start laying into me like that, and she refuses to explain herself. She's still lighting up my phone with notifications as we speak.
All right, let's calm down for a minute and take stock of things. Maybe this has something to do with her wanting to meet the baby? I know she's been asking me basically every day when we're going to come over and visit her. It might just be the stress and anxiousness of wanting to hold her own grandchild. You know how excited she's been about our baby. So I don't know, maybe your frustration reached a boiling point and she's venting at you?
Are you kidding me? What are you saying, that it's my fault she's insulting me for staying with my parents to recover from the birth? She knew this was my plan from the very beginning. It's not like we haven't told her about it. And didn't she do the same thing when she gave birth to her kids? What gives her the right to criticize me like this?
Please, Samantha, I know you're upset, but let's just calm down and think about what the best way to handle this situation is.
I mean, seriously? She's so excited to meet her grandchild that she calls me a harlot and says she wishes I wasn't her daughter-in-law? I might be a little more accepting of her frustrations if she had even sent me a text to congratulate me on the birth or ask me how I'm doing, but nope, she hasn't even spoken to me since the birth.
I'll bet she was just trying to give you your space, you know? She doesn't want you to see her as an overbearing mother-in-law. Not to mention, Mom was never one to do much texting anyway. I bet she really wants to wait until she comes and sees you in person to talk to you about the birth.
Oh, yeah, sure. That's a great explanation. You nailed it, Martin. The reason she's calling me a harlot and a terrible mother is because she's concerned for my well-being.
Come on, give me a break, Samantha. I don't have any idea what's going on either. Look, I'll go and talk to my mom to see what's up, okay? You just relax and leave everything to me. I know you're still exhausted from the birth, so try not to think about my mom too much. It'll only cause you more stress. I gotta get back to work now. I'll talk to you later.
Samantha, when I texted you last week, I thought I couldn't possibly be any more disappointed in you than I was. But congratulations, dear, you've proven me wrong. Perhaps I didn't make my point clear enough. Should I use even stronger language than before until you get the point?
This is not what I needed today.
I'm a mother myself, Samantha, so believe me when I say that I know exactly how difficult pregnancy and labor can be on a woman. I know you'd like to take as much time as you can to relax and recover. When my youngest was born, I left my older children in my husband's care. That's totally normal. It's best for a mother to have as much time as possible to lie down, rest, and bond with her newborn baby. And I have been more than willing to help you out whenever I can. This is my grandchild we're talking about, after all. When I spoke to you last week, I was furious. Now, I can't even bring myself to get angry. I'm simply disappointed, devastated. You have abused our kindness for far too long, Samantha, both mine and my son's.
In what way have I abused your kindness? I haven't asked you to do one single thing for us since the birth, so I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
You know what? I've changed my mind. I am furious with you. You insensitive, selfish, mooching little parasite. How dare you say such an idiotic thing to me after leaving your newborn infant in my care every single day? What? Also, you can go out and spend time with your friends? Oh, it's positively scandalous. I should contact the authorities and have you investigated for neglect. If you've got enough energy to go off gallivanting with your friends, then you have enough energy to care for your own child. I have never in my entire life met a mother so lowly, so vile, so cruel as you, Samantha.
Back up, Nancy. I've been leaving my baby with you every day. What are you talking about? I haven't even done that once.
Are you actually going to try and play dumb with me? I won't let you get away with that little charade. I'm the one who's been taking care of your baby all day, not you.
But that doesn't make any sense. I've never taken my baby to your house.
I was trying to be a good mother to my son and a good grandmother to that baby. I was trying to be generous to you, Samantha. But if you're going to use me as a babysitting service for you to go out on the town, then I'm not going to help you anymore. And now you have the gall to pretend like none of that ever happened. Do you take me for some kind of imbecile? Honestly, what was Martin thinking, marrying a low-class woman like yourself? I didn't raise him to be so easily fooled by a lying, lazy woman.
Nancy, stop this barrage of texts for one moment and listen to me. Okay? Okay. I am currently at my parents' house, not out on the town with my friends, and my baby is with me.
What?
I've never taken my baby to meet you, Nancy. I was so thrown off guard by your rant last week, I never really had the chance to say my piece, so let me be very clear. I have absolutely no idea what you are getting so angry at me about.
Wait, you're at your parents' house? And you say your baby is there with you? That's impossible. Your baby is here with me.
No, Nancy, I can assure you my baby is currently sleeping on the couch right next to where I'm sitting. I can take a picture and send it to you if you'd like. I'll even put today's newspaper in the picture. Would that be enough to prove to you that I'm telling the truth?
I don't understand.
My daughter was born 2 weeks ago today. Martin is very busy at work and will be for the foreseeable future, so I'm staying at my parents' house because it's closer to us. I've been wanting to drop by your house to let you meet the baby, but I'm still not fully recovered from labor, so I wanted to rest at home for a while longer.
I'm confused. Martin's been coming by the house every day to drop off your baby with me. And wait, did you say that she was born 2 weeks ago? Wasn't your baby born last month?
Last month? No, she was born exactly 2 weeks ago. Why would you think she was born last month? Martin told me he was going to give you a call himself to tell you the baby was born. Did you maybe misunderstand him, or perhaps he misspoke?
He never gave us a call at all. He simply brought the baby over to the house one morning. He said it was an emergency and he needed me to look after the baby for a while.
Go on.
According to Martin, your labor was much harder than expected, and the doctors told you that you would need to remain on bed rest for as long as possible to recover. Martin's company wouldn't approve his request for maternity leave, though, so he wouldn't be able to stay at home with you. And so, like I said, I've been looking after your baby for most of the last entire month.
I see. Keep going.
I got suspicious, though, because it seemed like your recovery was dragging on for far too long. A few days to a week I could understand, but an entire month? Oh, that's just unheard of. So I confronted Martin to ask him what was really going on. And that's when he told me that you had lied about needing me to recover and were simply spending time with your friends. He said you were fed up with holding back from doing all the things you wanted to do but couldn't while you were pregnant and wanted some time for yourself. So you were making Martin do all the work caring for your baby by himself. Are you saying that isn't true?
Give me just a moment, Nancy. I need to go and have a conversation with my husband. I want to hear what he has to say for himself. Martin? Answer your phone, Martin. Either that or send me a text message, your choice. You are not so busy at work that you can't take 30 seconds to send a text message to me saying when you can talk.
Oh, hey there, Samantha. Sorry I took so long to get back to you. I've been absolutely swamped here at work. Man, am I exhausted from all the work I've been doing.
You can drop the act, Martin. I know you've just been avoiding having to face me. I heard a rather interesting story from your mother yesterday. Apparently, you've been bringing a baby to her house every day and making her take care of it. You told her it was our baby, but you and I both know it isn't. So, tell me, Martin, whose baby is it?
Okay, I know it looks bad, but please, if you'll give me just a second to explain.
I don't want to hear an explanation, Martin. I want the truth. You're going to tell me what the hell is going on right here, right now. Who is the baby you've been leaving with your mother? And why did you tell your mother that I was shoving off our baby onto you, then going out with my friends every day?
Calm down, Samantha, okay? How do you expect me to give you an answer when you keep pushing me like that?
Calm down? Calm down? How do you expect me to calm down now that I know what you've been doing? You've been leaving someone else's child with your mother and telling her it was her grandchild.
Okay, first of all, it is her grandchild. The baby that I've been leaving with her is mine. So I may have maybe bent the truth a little bit on some other stuff, but that much was true.
It's yours? The baby is yours?
Yeah, I've been meaning to talk to you about it for a while, but I was afraid of how you'd react. The thing is, I found out that my girlfriend got pregnant and had the baby without telling me. Then come last month, all of a sudden she came over and dumped the baby on my doorstep. She was like, I gave birth to it so you could take care of the rest.
So, let me get this straight. You've been cheating on me, and your mistress got pregnant. Martin? You cheating bastard! How long has this been going on?
Hey, come on, don't get so mad at me. It's not like I was ever serious about her. It was all just for fun. You're still my #1 girl, and you always will be.
If I were really your #1, then you wouldn't have gone out of your way to find yourself a #2.
I'm sorry, okay?
And the baby was born almost the same time as ours? I can't believe you passed that kid off as ours, Martin.
I had no choice. My mom was the only person who I could get to look after it. I keep trying to get a hold of my girlfriend, but she never answers my calls or texts. And it's not like I could tell my mom the truth, could I? She'd be furious with me.
And so instead you decided to lie to her and make her think I was the irresponsible one? I am so mad at you right now, I think I'm gonna puke. You are not just comically evil, you are also freakishly stupid. Did you think you would get away with this? I was going to come back home eventually, Martin, and once I did, I would have found out about that baby.
Yeah, I know. I was trying to buy time is all. I thought if I could just delay you finding out, I might be able to come up with a plan, and after a lot of thinking, I finally came up with a great idea. How about we raise both of the babies as our own?
Both?
They were born so close to each other we could tell everyone they're twins and no one would suspect a thing. What are people gonna do, ask for a birth certificate to prove they're twins? No, nobody will ever suspect a thing.
I'm trying to think. Have you ever done or said anything so mind-blowingly stupid as that to me before? I mean, the idea that we should just lie to our friends and both children for their entire lives alone is outrageous enough as it is. But how do you plan on explaining things to my parents? I'm at their house right now. They already know that we only have one baby.
Shoot, that's right. I don't know, maybe we could just ask them to keep their mouths shut about it? Worst case scenario, we can give both sets of parents some money in exchange for their silence if need be. But we can think of a long-term solution for them later. In the meantime, all we need to do is make sure we keep our story straight with everyone else.
I cannot believe what I am seeing. You want me to raise your love child? And on top of that, you want me to lie to my friends? And you're even thinking about paying off my parents to hide your infidelity? I would never agree to do any of that. I'm divorcing you.
Divorce?
You can't seriously be surprised by that. Did you expect me to forgive you and continue our lives as usual after finding out you were cheating on me? And even worse, you had a child with her.
Hey, that's not my fault. It's not like I wanted to have a kid with her. She had the kid all by herself. She never even told me she was pregnant.
You do understand how babies are made, right? A woman can't just make a baby appear out of thin air. You were perfectly aware of how things could turn out when you slept with her. I'm done listening to your pathetic excuses, Martin. We're getting divorced, and that's final.
I can't believe you, Samantha. Like, come on, I'm trying to make the best of a bad situation over here. You're not making any effort at all to try and salvage our relationship. You can't just up and divorce me like that. And I mean, think about it. If you do divorce me, then you're the one who's gonna regret it.
Oh yeah? What makes you say that?
You're just a housewife. You quit your job just a few months into your pregnancy, right? Ugh, you were so whiny back then, always complaining about feeling sick or having a headache. So if you divorce me, you're gonna be single and unemployed with a baby to support all by yourself. You think you can replace me? Go ahead and try.
I can manage just fine without a lying, cheating husband like you.
We'll see about that. You're gonna be living on the streets within a month. Is that really the kind of life you want your baby to have? Living in a cardboard box and foraging through a dumpster for food scraps? I don't get why you won't just raise my kid together with ours. Everything'll work out great. Women love babies, right? You should be thrilled to get to take care of two. So forget all that nonsense about divorcing me, okay? If you don't want to have your daughter grow up in a homeless shelter, that is.
Getting an idiot like you out of her life is the best possible decision Samantha can make for her baby. Now quit blathering on like a moron and give that poor girl a divorce like she wants.
Huh?
Let me tell you something about Samantha. She went through so much pain to carry your baby inside of her for 9 months and finally bring her into the world. And how do you repay her for all of that? By cheating on her and demanding she care for your love child? I didn't raise you to be this much of a nincompoop, Martin. I never want to see your face again.
Hold up, what's going on? This isn't Samantha, is it? Mom, is that you? But that's impossible. This is Samantha's number. Samantha's at her parents' house and she's still recovering from labor, so she couldn't get over to my mom's house by herself.
You know, Martin, there happens to be this wonderful invention called a car. Perhaps you've heard of them. I drove over to Samantha's parents' house, dimwit.
Oh no. Mom, it really is you?
I wanted to see for myself whether Samantha was telling the truth, so I headed out there first thing in the morning. Oh, and don't worry about your other child. She's safe and sound at the hands of my neighbors.
No, this is terrible. Why did you have to go see Samantha?
Why else to see my real grandchild? And am I ever glad I did? She is absolutely adorable.
What's that supposed to mean? Real grandchild? My other kid's your grandchild too, you know. She's my daughter and I'm your son.
Simply carrying your genes means nothing to me. My grandchild is the one who was the product of my son and his wife. I would never accept the child you spawned with some hussy you met in a nightclub as my grandchild.
Mom, how can you say something so cruel?
Oh, you think I'm being cruel, do you? What about what you did to Samantha, Martin? I'd say that's 10 times more cruel than anything I've said or done. How could you sleep with another woman when you have Samantha at home? And how could you lie to your own mother about having a child out of wedlock? And to top it all off, you tried to threaten her into staying with you? Every single aspect of your behavior today has been utterly despicable.
But, Mom,
Where did I go wrong, Martin? How did you become such a vile, lowly man?
Would you stop acting like I'm the only one at fault here? Sure, I cheated. That was wrong. I can admit that. But I didn't think she was gonna get pregnant. She hid that from me, too. I'm the victim here.
The only victim in all of this is Samantha, and you're going to divorce her immediately. You have no right to call yourself either her husband or your daughter's father.
I can't get divorced. I won't get divorced. You can't make me.
Oh, can't I? Well then, I might just have to have you return the money I gave you to celebrate the baby's birth. All $30,000 of it. Give it back immediately.
What?
You told me that you were going to tell Samantha about my gift and tell her I was wishing her a safe and speedy recovery.
But when I asked Samantha about that, she said you never did either of those things. Would you mind explaining to me why that is, Martin?
I guess I forgot to tell her.
My goodness, you have a convenient memory. If that's the case, then my next question is this. What did you do with that money, Martin? I gave you that gift under the false pretense that the child you were bringing to my house was yours and Samantha's. It was also meant to be used on yours and Samantha's child. However, since Samantha had no idea about the money, that tells me you have broken both of my conditions. Since the two of you are going to get divorced now, then I would like you to return that gift to me. Right now.
Okay, well, returning the whole amount right away is gonna be pretty difficult. You see, I kinda spent some of it.
Oh, and how much is some of it?
A lot of it.
A lot of it?
Most of it.
Most of it?
All of it. I'm sorry, I spent it all already. I bought a new phone. I thought since you gave me so much, I'd be okay using a little on myself. But then my girlfriend started threatening me, and so I had to give her all the rest.
What?
That woman is awful. She just drops this kid on my doorstep and tells me to take care of it. And then she demands $20,000 as a push present. She said if I didn't pay, she'd bring the baby to my office and tell all my coworkers about my affair. So I went and got the envelope you gave me and handed it over to her right away.
I see. Thank you for your honesty. None of that is any of my problem, though. You're still going to return every last cent to me. If you don't, then I'm disowning you, and you'll never speak to me again.
Mom, no, you can't do that. I'm your only son, Mom. You can't disown me.
I have no interest in leaving any of my estate to a backstabbing man like you. I'll change my will and leave everything to Samantha and her daughter.
Mom, please.
If you would like to avoid that fate, then I suggest you give Samantha a divorce as quickly as possible. Make your choice, Martin. Divorce Samantha, or lose your parents and your money.
I'll call my lawyer to draw up the divorce papers right away, ma'am. I'll have him rush them over as soon as he's done. Hey, Samantha. So, I know we're divorced and all now, but is there any chance we can give our marriage another try?
No.
But Samantha, I'm a total wreck without you. All of a sudden, I'm having to balance both my job and taking care of this kid.
I thought your mom was helping you out with the baby. She told me that she felt terrible for the situation the baby was born into and wanted to do what she could to keep her from turning out like you.
Well, yeah, she's helping me out, but she's being super strict with me. I mean, she took my bank card without my permission and withdrew half of my savings account to give to you. She told me I owed it to you to divide up the assets as quick as possible.
Ah, so Nancy was the one who wired me that money. I thought there was no way you'd be willing to do that.
Plus, she makes me pay her to look after the kid.
Wow, really?
Yeah, $20 an hour. Since she's watching the baby for 6 hours, that makes $120 a day. So I have to pay her like $2,000 a month just to go to work. That's more than half of my salary all going to her.
That sounds like a fair rate to me. She's got tons of experience taking care of kids. If you don't like it, you can always put her in daycare.
I don't have time to find a decent daycare to send her to. I asked my mom to look for one, but she said she'd charge me a finder's fee of $10,000.
Considering the amount of income she'd be losing, I'd say that's fair too.
Don't you get it? She's bleeding me dry. That's why I need to marry you again, so you can look after the baby for free. And cook my meals, do my laundry, clean the house, wife stuff.
My goodness, that is a tempting offer. I get to look after your love child and do all your chores? That sounds great!
Right, I knew we'd see eye to eye. I might have been kind of lazy back when we were married, but I promise, this time I'll be a completely different man. You can quit your job search too, that's gotta be a pain and a half. So, what do you say, Samantha?
Upon careful consideration, I'm going to have to decline. I already found a job, so I don't need anything from you. Like I told you, I'll be fine by myself.
What? You already got a job?
With my resume, it was pretty easy, actually. So, goodbye, Martin. Take good care of the baby. She's counting on you.
Martin tried balancing childcare and work for some time after that, but eventually he realized it wasn't going to work out. He sold his house and moved back in with his parents. However, now his mother is charging him rent on top of her babysitting fee. After his alimony payments to me get subtracted from his paycheck, he's only left with about $300 each month to spend for himself. Despite being divorced, Nancy still comes by pretty regularly to see us. In spite of all that happened, my daughter is still her granddaughter. And Nancy is a wonderful, loving grandmother. She's always bringing all sorts of gifts, clothes, baby food, toys, you name it. I told her she didn't need to spend so much money on me, that just her coming by was enough. But she told me that I don't need to worry about the money, since if she started running low on cash, she could always raise her babysitting fee.
Kelly, you've got some explaining to do. Why didn't you come to the class reunion yesterday? Do you have any idea how much I've been looking forward to seeing you all of these years? Believe me, I have an idea. I, however, have no interest in seeing you at all. In fact, considering the fact that you're an evil, backstabbing, conniving little witch, I'd rather never see your face again if I can avoid it. Why do you think I didn't come to the reunion? It was to avoid having to deal with you. Are you serious? Is that any way to talk to your best friend in the whole wide world? Best friend? You? You've got to be kidding me. You stole my boyfriend from me, June. You aren't my friend at all, much less my best friend. I promise you, June, I will never forget that for as long as I live. Oh, come on, really? You're still mad over a tiny little thing like that? Grow up! You're such a spoiled little brat, Kelly. Just like you were back in high school. Oh, I'm the spoiled brat, am I? Okay, so sure. Back in high school, I stole your boyfriend from you, but that was high school. It's been 10 years since we graduated, Kelly. I'm surprised you even remember that happening. It was all ancient history. Don't you think it's time you moved on? Let bygones be bygones? Okay, let's say for the sake of this discussion that I did forgive you for that, which I never will. That still leaves a laundry list of the other cruel things you did to me back then. I'm not gonna let you sit over there and pretend you've forgotten all about that. Huh? Wait, I did other stuff to you? Like what? You weren't content with just stealing my boyfriend in high school. You followed me around during my college years too, and every time I started talking to a guy, you would jump in between us and sleep with him. I never had a chance to have an ordinary relationship in college thanks to you. And then, after I graduated, found a job, and thought I was rid of you, I met this guy at work who I had great chemistry with, and what did you do? You went out of your way to apply to my company through a temp agency. Then, the next day, after you started working, you posted a picture on your Instagram account of you and him in bed together. I remember that now. His name was Julian, right? All I did was invite him out for a drink once, and he immediately took me back to his apartment. So, yeah, I don't want to have anything to do with you again. I told you as much back then. What makes you think I'd have changed my mind by now? I turned down the invitation to the reunion the instant I heard you were coming. Yeah, I was kind of a wild child back then, huh? Sorry. But hey, it wasn't all easy. I had some pretty rough times too. Imagine how I felt being betrayed by my own best friend. After you did that, I couldn't help but get back at you. Childish, I know, but I was in high school. What are you talking about? I never betrayed you, not even once. Oh yeah, I'm sure you think you're some kind of perfect little angel who's never done anything wrong in your life, but I will never forget what you did to me. I had a massive crush on the same boy ever since we were in daycare together. And then, once we got into high school, I finally had the courage to tell him how I felt and asked him to be my boyfriend, but he said no. And why was that? Because he had a crush on you. What? How do you think it felt to have my first love crushed by my own best friend? I went into a spiraling depression. I didn't eat anything for days. That's why I kept stealing your boyfriends away from you. That's why I took every chance to stop you from getting with the guys you liked. I had to. It was the only thing that would ease my pain.
Is this some kind of joke? You're saying you did all of this out of jealousy? You were jealous that the boy you had a crush on liked me more than you, so you followed me around for the next 10 years?
Yeah. And I said I was sorry. What else did you want from me? I'm older now. I'm a different person. I really regret doing all of that stuff. Well, some of it. And most importantly, drum roll please, I'm getting married.
What? You are?
I wanted to tell you in person at the class reunion, but you didn't come. That, and apologize properly for what I did to you when we were younger.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm sorry to tell you this, but I really don't care about you getting married.
Huh?
I appreciate you wanting to apologize, and I'm glad that you say you've changed, but none of that changes anything for me. I still don't forgive you, and honestly, I doubt I ever will. So, congratulations on your wedding, June. I hope you find happiness.
I went out of my way to text you about my good news, and this is the reaction I get? Well, you might say you're not interested now, but I think that'll all change soon. Once I tell you a bit more about what I've been up to since we last met, you'll be dying to know more.
Why are you talking so cryptically?
Why spoil it now? I think I'll let it be a surprise. I cannot wait to see your reaction when you find out.
Hey, Harry, I'm sorry to bother you at work. This might seem a little sudden, but there's something really important I need to ask you about. Has there been an odd woman showing up around you lately?
No, not that I can think of. It's kind of a weird question. Can I ask what brought that on?
Well, it's a long story. There's this woman who's been practically stalking me for the last 10 years or so, and she's found me again. I just got concerned that maybe she was setting her sights on you next.
Huh? Hey, this still doesn't make any sense. What would this woman want with me?
Do you remember me telling you about an old friend of mine back in high school? She stole my boyfriend, the first boyfriend I ever had. And it wasn't just him. She put the moves on every single guy I was ever interested in for years. She texted me out of the blue just now.
Oh, yeah, I remember you talking about that weirdo chick. I thought vindictive psycho women like her only existed in movies, but I guess they really do exist in the real world, too. So that psycho messaged you today, huh? That is a bit suspicious.
It's really freaking me out, honestly. She told me she was getting married, and from the sounds of things, her fiancé is probably someone I know. She was talking really cryptically too, like she was hiding just enough of the details to make me nervous on purpose.
Ah, I see. You must have thought she'd gotten her hands on me then.
Well, you are my husband, and the only man in my life.
You don't have to worry about a thing, babe. You're the only woman in my life, and it's gonna stay that way until the very end. Plus, with work as busy as it is right now, I wouldn't even have enough free time to cheat on you.
Yeah, that is true. You've been staying over at the office lately a lot and everything. About how much longer do you think you're gonna be this busy, Harry?
I wish I knew it's gonna be like this for a while yet. One of the new recruits made the mistake of the century the other day.
Uh-oh.
He somehow managed to delete 3 months worth of data from the company's server. So now we've got to focus on getting that data all back before we can move any further. So yeah, I'm gonna be sleeping on the couch in my office for at least the next few weeks.
Wow, I'm sorry about that, Harry.
You don't have to be sorry about anything. I'm the one that should be sorry. Since I'm stuck over here, we can't work on getting ready for the wedding. We can barely even spend time together. But look on the bright side, since you know I'm holed up in my office staring at a computer screen all night, you can rest assured that I'm not sleeping with your psycho stalker.
That's not much of a bright side, but I'll take it. But
Just be careful, okay? Just because she hasn't contacted you yet doesn't mean that she won't. I'm probably thinking too much into it, but I just have a really bad feeling, you understand?
I totally understand, honey. I'll be sure to message you whenever I have the time. That should help to reassure you, right?
Thank you so much, Harry. Okay, well, I'll let you get back to work now. Go ahead and call me if you want a fresh cooked meal, okay? I'll bring it right over to your office. So, tell me, Kelly, were you surprised? How did it make you feel when you saw my wedding invitation? Well, yeah, I was definitely surprised. I didn't actually expect you to send me an invitation. I thought I offended you too much when I told you I wasn't interested. That's not what I'm talking about, dummy. Don't tell me you didn't even open up the envelope. Okay, I won't tell you. Oh my god! You really didn't open it? Good grief. It's a wedding invitation. You don't just toss those on the counter and leave them there. I already told you I didn't want to come. Why should I bother opening it? Put me down as not attending. You're totally missing the points, Kelly. Go pick up the envelope and open it right now. And make sure you look very closely at the name of the groom. I think it might be somewhat of a familiar name to you, seeing as though it's your fiancé. My fiancé? Yep. Didn't I tell you? You must be really surprised right now. Oh, and just so you don't get any funny ideas, it's not a mere coincidence. And it's not that I just so happen to get engaged to someone who has the same first and last name as your fiancé. I'm engaged to your fiancé. Or should I say, ex-fiancé. What's going on here, June? You're engaged to my fiancé? What? It's quite simple, Kelly. A man that was briefly yours is now mine. I'm so sorry for stealing yet another man away from you, Kelly. But don't worry, this will be the last time, I swear. This is unbelievable. I'm not getting any younger, so I thought it would be a great time for me to lock in a good man for myself. But good grief, you would not believe how awful the dating scene is these days. I got tired of going to clubs and bars every night. Then, one day, I heard that you had finally snagged yourself a piece of happiness. I just couldn't let that happen. Not on my watch. So right then and there, I decided that I was going to steal your fiancé away from you and make my revenge complete. It's one thing to hit on my boyfriends, but my fiancé, that's a whole new level of wicked. Right? I was worried it was going to be a lot harder than all of the other times, but I couldn't believe how quickly he decided to just toss you aside. It was like taking candy from a baby. I had barely even met the guy, and he was already chomping at the bit to get with me. And it wasn't but a few dates after until he popped the question. Okay. No, I don't believe you. There is no way at all that my boyfriend asked you to marry him. I get what's going on here. You heard I was getting married and who I was getting married to, but your usual tactics didn't work on him. So now you're making this all up in an attempt to make me suspicious of him. Well, it's not going to work. I trust him. Believe it or not, it's the truth. And you're going to have to come to terms with it eventually, sweetie pie. I mean, you saw the invitation, right? There it is, black and white, clear as crystal. Your fiancé's name next to mine. Your fiancé proposed to me, and now he's my fiancé. He's breaking up with you to be with me. You have once again lost your man to me. I win, Kelly. You lose. Game over. Well, that certainly is a convincing story. You're missing one very important detail, however. I'm already married, and we have a child together. Huh? So, no, there is no possible way that you could be getting married to him. Not to mention, you must have heard wrong, because the name on this invitation is not my husband's name. What are you even going on about, June? Are you drunk or something? What? Hold on. This doesn't make any sense. What do you mean that's not your husband's name? I mean just what I said. That's not my husband's name. Where did you get your information from anyway? They told you I was engaged, not married? We've been married for a while now. Plus, like I said, we already have a child together who's almost a year old now. You have a kid? I didn't hear anything about that. Yeah, we kind of did what they used to call a shotgun wedding. I found out I was pregnant one day, so we went and eloped the very same day. The baby was born healthy and strong, and we're currently living together, just as happy as can be. No! That can't be true! It can't be! It's impossible! That is completely different from what I was told about you! I heard that you were still just engaged! I didn't know that you were married! Or had a kid! I have no idea what sort of nonsense you heard about me, but if the rest of it is as accurate as that, then I can assure you it is all completely wrong. I'm not engaged to be married. I am married. I don't have a fiancé. I have a husband and a child. Also, the name on the invitation you sent me doesn't get my husband's first or last name correct, so you're 0 for 3. This can't be happening! I'm so confused. You mean my fiancé isn't your boyfriend? But that doesn't make any sense. I got my information from a very reliable source. Yeah? Then let's hear it, June. Where in the world did you get this, incorrect by the way, information about me and my husband? Who told you that I was engaged to whoever this guy is? Who is your very reliable source? You're my source, Kelly. You are. I got all this information firsthand straight from you. So there's no possible way I could be wrong about any of this. I went to your house, in person. What the? You went to my house? Are you serious? Yeah, and I saw your fiancé walking out of your house. He got into his car and drove off, but I managed to follow him all the way back to the place where he works. So I know for a fact that I'm right. My fiancé is your boyfriend. He has to be. I'm 100% sure of it. Wait a minute. You're saying you saw a guy with the same name going out of my house, but that's... Oh, wait a second. Now that I think about it, I may have actually seen this name somewhere before. You have? It's right on the tip of my tongue. Where do I know him from? I got it. I remember now. That's the name of one of the new recruits at my husband's company. Wait, what? Yep, I'm 100% sure of it. That's definitely who this is. My husband talks about this guy to me all the time. Apparently, this guy is an absolute disaster area. He keeps making mistake after mistake after mistake that costs the company tons of time and money. And my husband is unfortunate enough to be the guy that always has to be there to clean up the messes that he makes. It's thanks to your fiancé that my husband's been practically living at his office for the last month. Since he'd only been causing more catastrophic damage if he were around the office doing his actual job, my husband sends him to our house to pick up clean clothes, meals, and that sort of thing. At least he seems to be self-conscious of his incompetence. The other day, he came by to pick up dinner for my husband, and he said, I guess if it doesn't work out for me at this company, I can always try being the Uber Eats driver. You have got to be kidding me! I bet it was at a time like that when you saw him coming out of my house, June. About a month or so ago, he was coming by the house just about every night to get something or another. So, you mean I did get the wrong guy? He's really not your fiancé? I've been operating under the assumption that he was for all this time. That's the only reason I worked so hard to get him interested in me. I thought I was stealing him away from you. And good grief. Am I glad you screwed that up so badly? I've been terrified ever since you started texting me a month ago that you were gonna steal yet another important person away from me. This sucks so hard! Come on! I can't believe this! How could I mess up so badly? I thought for sure I was going to see you have a complete emotional breakdown. I thought I was gonna break you so hard you'd be thrown into a mental asylum. But now I found out I got the wrong guy? God damn it! And the worst part is, we already got married. We eloped at the county courthouse just the other day. What? You already got married to him? This is the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. You got married to a guy under completely false pretenses. This is the worst! I'm so pissed off right now. I waited years for this moment, and now it's ruined. Hey, getting mad at me isn't going to solve anything. And hey, it's not all bad, is it? So what? You got the wrong guy. You still got a guy, didn't you? You got married. Congratulations, June. For 10 years, you've been living with a broken heart from your first love turning you down. But now, you've got a man who's promising to love you forever. I can't do that! Think about it. You might have been under the wrong impression, but he still chose you. He loves you for who you are. You should be thrilled. I'd say the best thing for you to do would be to turn over a new leaf and live out the rest of your days as his loving wife. I don't need or want any advice from you, Kelly, so you can skip the stupid lectures. But as much as I hate to admit it, you kind of have a point. It really does suck that he wasn't your fiancé, and that is a major buzzkill. But he still works at the same company as your husband does, and that's one of the most powerful IT firms in the state. I guess I can just be satisfied in the fact that I landed myself a man with job security and a rapidly growing industry. Huh? Maybe this arrangement won't be so bad after all. The one thing that really kills me is the fact that my husband is your husband's subordinate. But I think I can manage to live with that now. With a high-value woman like me at his side, I think I can give him the push he needs to be better and further his career. Who knows? Maybe if I push him hard enough, he'll be your husband's boss someday. That's it. That's going to be my new motivation in life. I still have a shot to get my revenge on you, Kelly, and this time I won't mess it up. June, your husband doesn't work for the company anymore. He resigned. Uh-oh. Does that mean that your fiancé withheld a really important piece of information for when you got married? He resigned? It's like I was telling you earlier, June. Your husband was making a ton of mistakes, and not just minor ones. Big mistakes. The kind of mistakes that affect a company's bottom line. That's what made my husband turn his office into an Airbnb. What's worse is that your husband recently made his biggest mistake yet, like the mother of all mistakes. As patient as my husband is, this one was just too much for him to handle. In one final act of mercy, my husband encouraged your husband to resign from the company immediately, rather than wait until the end of the tribunal that would inevitably result in him getting fired for cause. No, I don't believe it. He never told me about any of that. He lied to me? Sounds like you and your husband need to sit down and have a little heart-to-heart talk then. Now, you both have something important to confess to each other. You dated him under the assumption that you were stealing him from me, and he married you while hiding the fact that he quit his job. I'm sure the two of you can find some way to come to an understanding. And with that, I'll be taking my leave for the night. Remember, I will not be attending your wedding, so please don't prepare a seat at the reception for me. Well, this is just great. You were right. He really did quit his job. How could he lie to me like that? What a scumbag. Oh, but he said he was keeping it a secret so that I wouldn't worry about him. Ha, yeah, right. What a loser. I understand how it feels, honestly. If I were just about to get married, I wouldn't want my fiancé to know that I had quit my job either. Stop trying to console me. It's not helping. Not only did I fail at stealing your fiancé from you, I didn't even get the consolation prize of getting married to a guy working for a decent company. He resigned 2 weeks before our wedding, too. Who does that? Don't worry, June. Everything's gonna be fine. If he had the kind of resume that would get him into my husband's company, I'm sure he'll be able to find a good job elsewhere. You just need to be patient with him. Give him some time. Oh yeah, right. I'll wait for him to get another job, just for him to lose it again. Huh? What do you mean, June? It turns out he's been working his butt off in secret to find a new job before I realized what was going on. He actually managed to land a new job after just a week of job hunting, so everything's fine, right? Wrong. He made so many mistakes in his first 3 days on the job that they fired him already. 3 days? How do you mess up so bad that they don't even want to give you a whole week? Yikes. That's really too bad, June. Harry had always told me that your husband was a disaster waiting to happen, but that's insane. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone getting fired that quickly. It's a big waste of time and money for the company, too. In most cases, they just keep you on until they got a replacement for you. It's like he's trying to make all those mistakes. Oh, and another thing, he also happens to have the worst luck in the world. He left confidential company documents on the bus on his way to work. He realized it right away though, and when he got back on the bus to get his bag, someone already stole it. Oof, that's gotta hurt. Then the next day, he borrowed a company car to go visit a client. He stopped by a convenience store on the way back to get a snack, and guess what happened while he was inside? Someone smashed all his windows and stole his bag, which contained confidential company documents again. His company fired him on the spot as soon as he got back. They're even demanding that he pay for the cost of the repairing of the car's windows. Holy cow. I'm starting to feel bad for the poor guy. This is awful luck. I thought I was gonna be on the fast track to the sweet life with him. I had resigned myself to being married to him and thought I would just have to try and make the best of it. I even came up with a brand new way of getting my revenge against you. But now, what am I gonna do? Why did I have to go and marry the wrong guy? Why couldn't it have been your husband coming out of your house that day? I wouldn't have cared. I still would have tried to steal him from you. I probably would have made it feel even better. Oh, yeah. I have no doubt that you'd have no qualms with trying to start an affair with a married father. So, I guess this can only mean that your current situation is divine punishment for being such an evil person. I'm not evil! You are, but don't let that hold you back. After all, your husband needs the loving support of his wife to propel his career forward. If you can do that, I'm sure you'll still find happiness in life. Screw that! How am I supposed to be happy living with a guy who makes mistakes as often as he breathes? You'll have to come up with an answer to that for yourself. Oops, my kid's crying. Gotta go. Enjoy your newlywed life with your darling husband, June. June's husband got right back to looking for a new job, and he found another one in short order, from which he was then fired in short order. As a result, June was left with no choice but to become the family's breadwinner herself, and her husband decided to give up working altogether and become a full-time housewife, house husband. Is that a thing? In any case, it's definitely not a thing for him. He burns the food when he cooks, burns the shirts when he's ironing them, and burns through their limited finances with his awful spending habits. So, yeah, they're having quite the eventful newlywed life. It seems like June must be pretty busy because she hasn't sent me a single message ever since. I heard that she's too busy to make next year's class reunion, so it looks like I'll be able to go to this one this time.
Martha! This month, I'm in need of a bit of more money, so another $2,000 would really help. I don't think I have enough this month with what you've already given me. You made sure to pay for all of your bills this month, right? So, how come you still don't have enough money? The cost on textbooks in college are so dang high. Putting all of them together would come out to around $2,000, right? But Cassidy, you're in your 4th year of college now. You're pretty close to your graduation and have already bought all the things you needed for your classes this year. And most of those classes are labs. So why are you talking about textbooks right now? What? You told me that you are in your 4th year. And that after your 3rd year there, you would mostly be doing things like labs and not really need any textbooks. I know I said all of that, but I still need the money for some textbooks. I'm sure a high school graduate like you could never understand what I'm talking about though. When it comes to us college students, we'd love to take all kinds of classes during our last year to make some extra credits, and that means we still have to invest in textbooks. It would be a waste of time spending one more year here doing nothing besides labs and projects when we can still be learning so much more. Really? We all come to these places to learn, and that means until we've graduated, we will take all sorts of classes to learn the most that we can. The same goes for me, and I will be studying right up until the day I graduate. You college students really are amazing some ways. I should have guessed that, though, by how all you go there paying tons of money to study all sorts of new things. And in my case, you were the one paying for all of my tuition to this college, right? Both our parents died so early on, and you had to step in and put in all that work for me. For that very reason, I want to make sure I spend every day I have on this campus studying for my future. You wouldn't want me wasting all that money you paid, right? I'm happy to hear that. If that's the case, then I'll hurry up and get you the money for those textbooks. But could you give me a little bit first? A lot of things happened this month, and some of my shifts were taken away from me. Can I send you the $2,000 later this month? What? What happened that made them take some of your shifts away? Dave went and got a new job within a different company. That left nobody within the house for a far longer durations of the day. So I needed to stay home to make sure that chores and the likes have been getting done. Oh, so Dave finally got himself a real job. I was getting kind of worried for a bit there about you being with a low-life man working in that sad little factory all day long. What? I was wondering how someone who graduated from college could just waste all that time they put into studying by becoming a factory worker. That's why a little while back I told that to him right to his face. I said that being a factory worker made him a failure to this society. Then I went on to say that as a real man, he needed to get himself a real job. What? Cassidy? You said something like that to Dave? I'm your little sister, and because of that I was worried about your guys' relationship. You ended up becoming a low-life high school graduate with nothing to show for, right? And at the time, your husband was working at a low-life factory. And as your little sister, my life was filled with worries about you too. A low-life high school graduate? What's wrong with not going to college? Around this area, there are plenty of people who went right to work after getting out of high school. Yeah, in this area. However, the place that you are living is nothing compared to the rest of the world. I can understand all of that because I'm going to graduate from college. But to a lowlife like you, you'd probably never understand how sad it is when someone doesn't go to college and do something with their life. In this world, you are meant to go to college after high school. And then from there, you get yourself a good job. I'm sure things are different in living in the city like you are now, but out here in the countryside, we don't really see the point in having to go all the way through college in order to have a good life. Honestly, hearing all of that from you doesn't really make me feel all too happy. And now you're going about how Dave's job was meant for lowlifes as well? I'm graduating from a very amazing college and want to get into a powerful company. A place with a good pay from the start and that has all sorts of really nice employee benefits. A place where I can brag to everyone else about because this is so just dang amazing. That's where I want to work, where I need to work. And comparing a company like the kind I want to join with Dave's factory job like, you can see who's the lowlife. Working there, you don't even have to have a high school diploma because it's a job that literally any idiot can do. Excuse me? I know that a high school graduate like you would never understand, but that is the way the rest of this world views factory workers and their job. Sorry, my friend is calling me for now, so I have to go. And for that $2,000, make sure to get it for me as fast as you can.
Hey Martha, I just had a look at my text messages. What's going on? What's going on with your part-time job? You're going to have to take on more shifts now?
Actually, I just got a text from Cassidy a little bit ago about how she is going to need more money for school.
But didn't you already pay for her last year and all the things she needed to graduate?
She told me she's going to need to pick up some of more textbooks, and that is going to cost her some more money.
What? But hasn't she finished getting all her credits in order to graduate? Why would she need to still pay for more textbooks?
She told me that it's normal for all students to study up until they graduate, no matter how many credits they already have. That's the case for all the students in college, right? They all go out and take different classes on their favorite subjects in order to not waste any time and money.
Huh? I don't think there's a single student that I've been with who would do something like that. There are students that plan to go to graduate school and will continue studying. But your average graduate will stop fooling around after they get all their credits. They will start focusing on finding a job or thinking about where they'll move next.
What? But Cassidy told me everyone studies up until the very last day before they graduate. And in her case, it's going to be costing her $2,000 for textbooks this time.
$2,000? I'm sure she can deal with getting used textbooks or something if she really needs them. Everyone gets used textbooks for the most part because they're so much cheaper. I've never heard of anyone paying more than $1,000 a year for textbooks, especially during their last year before graduating.
Huh, really? But she kept going about how she really wants to study up until her last day there. And unlike me, she is a very smart cookie. So far, I'm the only person she can rely on for anything money-wise, so I want to do everything I can to make sure she has the life she deserves.
I really love how much you care for your little sister Martha. But you really have been paying for literally everything that this girl does. For both her schooling and her life, pretty much. Yet she is still asking you for more money so that she can pick up some more textbooks. How about you get your little sister to pick up a part-time job if she really wants those books so badly?
From what she's told me, there is no time to work part-time. She's told me that from morning to night she is in lecture halls all day taking classes, and during the weekend, she is focused on all her assignments and never has time to leave her room.
A fourth year in that school is still having to go to class from morning until night? No, I'm not buying this, Martha. I have never, and I mean never, seen someone try that hard on their last year in college when they already have all the credits they need. I'll take care of her textbook fees this time. I'm getting a new job here and will be bringing in a lot more, right? So it's my turn to help your little sister out so that you can take a break.
Thank you for saying that, but this is my family's problem. And although you're my husband, you shouldn't be handling my sister's fees. I have been supporting her since she first entered that school, and I will continue to do so until she's out of there.
Now that I'm talking about it, it kind of sucks having a wife that cares so much about her little sister. Well, if that's what you want, Martha, then I'll step aside and let you handle all those costs. But make sure not to sell yourself out to her, all right?
Thank you, Dave. And I'm sorry about the worries Cassidy has caused you. She should have never asked about anything about the work you do and asked that you change jobs.
Aha. You're talking about that now? She was getting all upset with me for working in that factory, calling me a lowlife and such.
I'm so sorry about that. She should never be able to talk about others' work like that.
You don't have to mind what she said. And it's not me she should be worried about for the most part, right? Although because of her little remarks, I was able to find myself a better job. So I guess I could thank her for that.
If that's how you really feel about all of that, then I guess things are fine.
My job as your husband is to take care of you, and the same extends to your sister. I really hope that she can find herself a good job and enjoy the last little bit of her time in college.
I really hope so too. Just another year of supporting her, so that she has all the needs to be a good little adult. Listen to this, Martha. I was given a job offer. I will start working for them in the spring if I take the offer. And they just so happen to be the company I've been aiming for. Congratulations. Way to go, Cassidy. You put in a lot of effort to get here, right? Looks like all your hard work has finally paid off for you. I suppose so, but I just have to say that this is just because of how awesome I am. But the fact that you got an offer from them after all that time you spent going around doing interviews and such, I know you had to put a lot of effort into all of that. You even traveled as far as Florida going to interviews and job fairs. I'm sure you have no idea about any of this since you never went to college, but all of that hard work is what's expected from us college students during our last year. All of those interviews we go to are meant to discern which of us are meant for the real world, and which of us will end up having to work low-life jobs. This really is an interesting world. For me, all I had to do to get my part-time job was talk with the owner of the store a little. You can't even compare what you've had to go through with what us highly educated people have to deal with when finding work. Do you even have any idea where this company I got the job offer is located? Right here, in this state, at the food manufacturing company, MCN. What? Oh? Am I that amazing to you that you've totally lost the ability to think now? Well, I guess things like that would happen with you. There have only been ever 3 people hired into this company from the college I'm graduating. One would have to say this company is no laughing matter when it comes to how hard their hiring process is. Did you really get a job offer from that company? And you plan to start working there in the spring? That's right. This spring, I will be joining one of the famous companies in this country and will be known as an elite employee there. And now that you're aware of that, from today, I'm going to be cutting ties to you. Thank you so much for all of the support that you gave me over the years. Oh, you're cutting ties to me, starting today. What do you mean by that? I'm leaving you forever. From now on, I want to live a life where I don't have to think of you anymore, so never ever talk to me again after this. What? Hey! What are you going on about right now? Cutting ties, though? Why would you want to do that to me? This isn't something I came up with overnight, okay? I have been thinking about doing this for a very long time now. What? Is that right? The moment I got into college, I figured it all out. To me, there is nothing about you that is worth my time and energy. I get that you gave me the money to go to school and eat and sleep, but now that I'm graduating and will have an excellent job, I don't need you for anything anymore. And so I've been planning to cut ties with you as soon as possible. Don't you need me for anything anymore? Why would you say something like that? Ever since Mom and Dad passed away, I have been your only family, Cassidy. I am very aware of that, but I have plenty of friends that I can call family still, right? And I plan to make many more come my first day of work. If I'm still holding on to you by that time, people will think I actually enjoy being around lowlifes like you and will run away from me. What did you say? I put in a lot of effort going to this college. I didn't want people thinking that there was something wrong with me for not having my parents around anymore, so I made sure to do everything just right there. I made sure to study my butt off in all of my classes and made sure that I only became friends with the best of best at this college. Some of them are from very wealthy families, and others are so good looking that they will be models and celebrities after graduating, and plenty of friends who are still just as smart as me, and will be joining only the most powerful companies in order to become elites. And that's really amazing of you, Cassidy, to have all those really high-class friends and plenty of more to come. That's right, and I'm the most popular among all of them. However, right now I have a low-life, high school graduate older sister still. To me, all you're going to do is trip me up when I begin to really pick up the pace going into the workplace. I'm going to trip you up? Like I've said, I've already have families of friends with me right now. And once I'm in that company, I'll be getting even more friends since I'm just that amazing. I'll be getting closer and closer to becoming better than everyone else, Martha. Yet, as I become that much better, you are still going to be tied to me, sitting all the way at the bottom rung of this ladder we call life. And by having that tied to you, I will look far worse than I could be looking without you. So that's why you're wanting to cut ties to me? Even though I went through 4 years of hard work for you? If you want me to be very honest, all you were to me was a very convenient ATM. You never complained about anything I did, and handed me the money I always asked for, so thank you for that. But now that I'm becoming an elite, I will no longer need an uneducated lowlife like you around me. Well, that's wonderful to hear, because my husband just told me your offer has been revoked. What? So I was a convenient ATM to you? Well, I'm glad we both could confirm that. I'm sorry. I'm a bit shocked actually that you just come right out and say that about me. So I'll need some time to relax. Hold it right there, Martha. What do you mean my offer has been revoked?
I'll be able to explain that to you. So for the time being, let my wife take some time to relax.
What? Is this you, Dave?
I always knew something was wrong with you. Your sister had always been paying your tuition as well as your housing costs and for your food, yet you continued to ask for me, wanting her to pay for more textbooks and pay for extra classes. You gave her all sorts of reasons to get more money from her so that you wouldn't have to let her know the truth. You had all your credits to graduate, yet you said you planned to study right up until you graduated. I'm not so sure there are any students in the US doing that.
Well, that's what I've been doing. I love to study, and that's why I want to use all the time I have left here to do so.
You say that, all while never getting a part-time job to support yourself because you think of your sister as your ATM. Do you have any idea how much of Martha's time and money has been given to you?
Shut up already. She has been doing all of that because she wants to. Martha loves supporting her amazing little sister. So shut the hell up, you stranger.
I have kept my mouth shut for a long time now, actually. I knew that things were up with you, yet I shut up about it because I'm just a stranger in you guys' little relationship. Martha had really loved the thought of you being such a cute little sister to her, and she loved talking about you all the time. That's why she went and spent all her time working part-time in order to keep you in school. But I can't let you get away with your bullcrap any longer. It's over. Once you called her your ATM outright, things completely changed.
Well, you don't have to worry about it anymore because she's no longer my ATM. I have no use for her right now. Because of her, I was able to get into this amazing school and I was able to find myself a really good job at MCN. So you both need to shut your mouths about the things like my offer being revoked and bullshit like that.
I saw that while sitting next to Martha. You were talking about getting that offer from MCN, the company that manufactures food products.
That's right. I'm amazing for getting an offer from them, right? I'm so much smarter than my uneducated sister. And you graduated from college yourself, yet ended up working in some factory instead of getting a real job, which makes me even more outstanding than you now.
What about you makes you more smart and outstanding? To this company and I, there is nothing about you that stands out, and for the most part, you are anything but smart. I know that we gave you that offer, but as the CEO, I'm going to personally make sure it's revoked.
Huh? As the CEO?
I'm sorry to spoil all your fun, but it's back to looking for another job for you now. I'm sure there's some company out there that would be willing to employ piles of crap like you.
Hold on a second. Are you really the CEO of a company like that? No way. No way. You were just working for a measly little factory, right? No freaking way could a factory worker become a CEO just like that.
Well, that's what happened though. I was given this company by my aunt.
Huh? Your aunt gave you that company?
You know about how my parents both passed away before I even made it into preschool, right? Well, years and years later, I ran into Martha and we both bonded over growing up with our parents around, which soon after led us to get married. However, back when I was growing up and going through college, I never had an older sibling to guide and support me. But I did have an aunt who had been raising me as though I was her real son.
And she's the CEO of the company I'll be joining?
The company that you were going to be joining. You see, my aunt has always been single and never had any kids. So once I got out of high school, she told me that one day she'd be giving her company to me. She made hints leading towards that when I was younger, but never said anything outright to me. I kind of thought she was just joking the whole time, but she was actually very serious. And so when she made it clear that she wasn't making any jokes, I made sure to study hard in college, preparing for the eventual transition into being the next CEO.
Preparing? But after college you started to work in some stupid old factory, right?
And that factory I had been working in is one of many factories ran by this company. If it wasn't for that factory, then this year the company wouldn't have made 8 times the normal amount of food it did.
What?
Actually, we exceeded the goal quite a bit. But that was the job I had there at the factory. I wasn't just on the floor operating the machinery or anything.
Seriously?
I was actually on my way out this year, getting ready to become the next CEO. And then you came and started ranting about how I needed to get a real job. Well, that was the perfect timing, because the day after your rants, my aunt called me and said it was time. She said that it was my time to be the CEO and that the company would now be in my hands.
What?
I made the transition in record time, actually. My aunt will still be working for the company, but just as an advisor of mine, and we will start working towards an even more productive future. And considering that we want this company to be even more productive, that means we can no longer hire someone as useless as you. That's why I will be revoking that job offer now.
There is no way something like this could happen. I thought you were only just some lousy factory worker. Yet without me even hearing about it, you became the CEO of the company I'm supposed to enter?
My aunt paid for all my schooling and living costs. And I'm so thankful that she took me in as her own son and raised me so well. And that's how everyone should feel about those that sacrifice a lot in order to support another, right? I cannot believe that after all this time and money my wife, your sister, put into you, you're going to tell her that you're cutting ties now.
I'm a little bit thankful for what she did for me, but this and that are 2 different topics, because I want to become an elite and have a bunch of elite friends. And all my sister is an uneducated part-timer. She's not someone I can brag about to all of those around me.
She threw a lot of her own life away to support you. You should be bragging about her for doing something like that for the rest of your life.
Shut up! I don't give a damn that you're the CEO of the company I'm joining. You will not talk about me and my life like that. Who the hell cares that you're the new CEO? Nobody is going to let you get away with revoking my job offer just because you're the new leader in town. If you go through with taking that offer away from me, then I'll sue your ass.
If you think you can do that, then please try. I'll let all 5 of my lawyers teach a half-ass adult like you what it really means to be someone in society. And I promise you, you'll know what it means.
What am I going to do, Martha? That dick actually went and did it. He really went and revoked that offer. And he even went as far as exposing other things about me. He used those things he exposed in order to have that job offer taken away from me. Are you talking about all those things you were saying on Twitter? That's right, those things he exposed. While at college, I have been trying to make a new image for myself, and in order to do that, I'd go online and say all sorts of things. I would say around 500 different things each day. Each day? Well, he found that account of mine and took screenshots of all the things I was posting in there. He sent all those tweets to the dean, as well as took away my job offer. What were you saying on there that used in a way that could get your job offer revoked? All of it was just a joke, actually. Things like saying that to the lead of the HR department at MCN is so good looking that I'd find a way to get his wife to divorce him and take him as my own. What? Things about how out of all the employees, I am the best looking. And thinks about how a lot of higher up women are ugly as hell and should never work for MCN. So you went on there and said things like that about the company you'd soon be asked to join? And also, after my interview there, I was shown around the company's office, right? During that tour, I took some photos I probably shouldn't have. And one of those pictures had documents in it that were very important to the company. And so, the main reason for my offer being revoked is that I tried to sabotage the company through leaking documents. Well, that's pretty much it for you then. Not only were you saying some very bad things about the company's employees, but you went and leaked some very important documents online. All I have to do is delete the account and all those posts, right? Yet they didn't even give me a chance to do that and are taking my job offer away. You need to go and talk to Dave and get his head put back on straight. He will listen to everything you say to him, which will then lead to him forgiving me. He probably would too. If I were to beg him for all my strength to let you off the hook, he'd probably do just that. He might even let you have that job offer back and everything. Right? No, hurry up and go talk to him. If you don't, then all 4 years of my life here would have been no waste. Those 4 years that you paid for, all would be going to waste. And that would be very sad, right? But I'm not helping you out anymore. What? Why not? I had a look at your other account on Twitter. I just asked Dave for it, and he sent it to me. What? You were really going on about a whole lot of crap these past few years, and from what I've found, you had a lot to say about me as well.
It's so easy exploiting your older sister like an ATM. Why should we have all those take exams anyway? Those freaking idiots. I just used all my money my ATM sister gave to me on liquor and Uber. You have it all wrong. I was just saying all those things as a joke. I was just using that account to sound like a real jackass, since that's what everyone liked. You can tell how much of a jackass I was just by looking, right? I was so good at it that I got around 10,000 followers out there. They all really loved my acting like a jerk, so I kept all of that for them. I have been your sister for over 2 decades now, Cassidy, which means it's not impossible for me to tell when you're lying. Actually, I've known all about your lies for a long time now. What? Really? You do realize I talk to people besides just you, right? And they have told me about what it was like being in college and what most people do. I understand that you tried to play off the look that you were this really serious student who spent all their time studying. From everything I've read and seen on this other account you have, I can see you were doing plenty of things that have made me lose all my faith in you. What?
So just like you've been wanting, we're going to cut ties. From now on, don't you ever talk to me again, alright? I don't even want to be reminded of you anymore.
No way! Wait, Martha, don't abandon me like this.
You were the one abandoning me though, right? You told me you had no use for me anymore, and I totally get that now. So let's not regret any of this and be happy that we will move on and live our own lives now without ever having to talk to one another again.
Martha.
I can't believe this is how things have to end between me and my only sibling. But you did go to a very nice college and made all sorts of amazing friends there. I'm sure you can make something happen on your own now with them and your education in mind. Good luck. With that, from now on, you and I are complete strangers. The part-time job I had for so long in order to support Cassidy is finally over with. I went and quit my job there the moment she said that she was cutting ties with me. And when I got home that evening, Dave told me I put in a whole lot of effort taking care of Cassidy like that, and said from now on, I'd be his housewife and could relax as much as I wanted. So I've taken him up on that new title, and I'm taking it easy here at home, while Dave goes off to work as a CEO. As for what happened to Cassidy afterwards, considering she had lost any hope of getting that job she was bragging about, she could no longer go on all those graduation trips with her friends, and had to cancel last minute. And since she waited for the last minute to cancel on all of them, she was left having to pay $5,000 in cancellation fees. But since I would no longer be giving any money to her, Cassidy's only option was to borrow some money. She started to live life, searching for some kind of work where she'd be able to make money, while also being in debt, which left all of her friends calling her an embarrassment, and someone they cannot be seen with anymore. And just like that, all those friends Cassidy was bragging about started to leave.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.